said, it's Nikea
and Jasmine,
and this is Black Girl Lit. I just love that little bell sound. Alright, so we are back with another book review for you all, and as we told you last time, we are reviewing Little in Line by Brandy Colbert. So we're kind of circling back around to some authors that we've already read before, and we're sipping on a little something.
It's adult Capri Suns. Mine says Jazz.
I made them. Oh my god, it's so good.
It is pretty good.
And it was already halfway, y'all. It wasn't filled up and then we drank it. I promise you. We're not alcoholics.
You might be.
Because I got a little too tipsy on Father's Day.
Oh, yeah, that you did. That you did.
Okay, so Little in Lion is her second novel and is the winner of ALA's 2018 Stonewall Book Award. It was named ALA's 2018 Best Fiction for Young Adults and was named a Book of the Month Club selection, a Junior Library Guild selection, and a Best Book of 2017 by Kirkus Reviews, Booklist, Vulture, Bank Street, Bustle, BuzzFeed, Pace Magazine, and 17 Magazine. But you can also see some of Brandy's work in anthologies. She's in about 3 or 4 of them. Her third novel, Finding Yvonne, is now available. It came out in August of 2018. And The Revolution of Birdie Randolph will be available this year. I'm not sure if it's already out or if it's coming out a little bit later this year. She is on the faculty at Hamline University's MFA program in writing for children. She lives in LA and she works as a copy editor for magazines and books. Yeah, so that is an update on Brandy. I'm just gonna get into the flourishing, thriving segment of Jasmine and Lenny Nora in the book synopsis.
Book synopsis. All right, so Little and Lion is the story of Little and Lion. Little is
oh, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Hey, you're welcome. So Little is Suzette and Lion is her stepbrother Lionel. So Suzette is black, and you know, with her mom, and Lionel is white. They're Jewish.
She's only black with her.
She's only black when she's with her mom. Her mom is not black. Suzette just got back from being in boarding school in Massachusetts, and she's home for the summer. She was sent to boarding school because Lionel was dealing with some major health issues of the mental capacity. So her parents sent her away so they can kind of deal with Lionel without having to like overwhelm her. So it's kind of like a coming of age story where Little or Suzette's trying to figure out, hey, what's exactly going on with my brother, as well as getting to accept herself, because a lot of things happened while she was at boarding school. So that's a high level view of Little and Lion, trying to deal with this mental health issue that her brother has, as well as trying to deal with her issues over the summer in Los Angeles.
All right, Jazz.
Cali folk. Thanks.
All right, reactions. I just have a few. When I first started reading this novel, I immediately was like, this reads so much better than Point did. I don't know why, but it just reads so much better. It felt a little poetic to me, kind of like This Side of Home.
Okay.
It felt poetic. I said it handles the storylines and topics very well. Even though it's a YA book, it doesn't read like a YA book. It doesn't try to sugarcoat the topics. And I like how it flashes back between previous events and in between current events, because actually a few of the books we read kind of have like flashbacks and it confuses you, but I felt this one did it very well because like the past events kind of go with what's going on currently and they all tie together. I put it's not explicit that Suzette is black. Well, it is stated, okay, she's black, but after that she kind of reads as black, and then when I was reading towards the end of the novel, she didn't come off as black to me. I felt it was okay that she didn't exactly continue reading as black to me because it was more focused on the issues, and it's important to see black people dealing with different types of issues. There's so much going on with her, and we'll get to that with major scenes and topics.
So reactions. I really didn't have a lot of reactions written down, but from how I reacted,
Straight off the dome.
Straight the dopies. I do agree with Nikea that I feel like the book reads much better than Point did. I think Brandy really hit her stride. Like I said last video, second season, second book, people hit their strides. Brandy hit hers with this one. It was much better, definitely a good flow. I liked that there were so many different facets happening, so many different topics I guess we'll touch on, like this interracial family, there's also they're Jewish, there's these mental health issues, there's sexuality things. There's a lot of different things happening. Now, granted, it could be overwhelming for someone because you think, oh god, this family got a lot going on. Why can't they just have like a couple issues? But it was still good to see, and I think it was very well done. And I started noticing a pattern in the types of books that Brandy writes, because there were some similar themes in this book that kind of relate to not necessarily like eating disorders, but still the mental health type things. I will say that I do agree about Suzette not reading as completely black, except from the fact that she said she had dreads, her brown skin.
Right.
In describing her, she really didn't sound black, and neither did Emile.
But I feel like if you think about it, there's no one way to be black.
True.
So in a sense, I can appreciate the way that Suzette was written. I'm not saying it was negative or whatever, but she was just a multifaceted person. I think Brandy wrote her very well.
I agree.
Major scenes and topics. And Jazz already mentioned some.
Yep.
So we have blended families. Non-typical blended families. Because her mom and Saul are not married, but they live together.
Yep.
And Lionel and Little have been growing up together. Interracial relationships. Religion. Sexuality and sexual identity, mental health with bipolar, ADHD, depression. Did I say blended families? Yeah.
You did say blended families.
Yep.
Yeah, those were all the themes that I have. I guess in I guess you could say small key bigotry, but not high key bigotry, like low key bigotry, but not
because you don't get to really like see it.
Yeah, you don't really know. But yeah, the major topics were definitely the mental health thing. That was a big focal point, as well as the blended family aspect, and the sexuality.
I think the main thing about the mental health, it wasn't so much that Lionel had these mental health issues. It was how Suzette was dealing with it and how it was affecting her. Because at one point I was like, girl, if you don't just live your life and stop worrying about him, like you're gonna stress yourself out and you gonna have to have some mental health issues. And I wanted to go back to something Jazz said about how it could be a lot for people to read because there's so many issues. Like legit honesty moment. I think I had a little, I'm not clinically diagnosed, haven't been to a doctor, but this is just how I was feeling. I feel like I had a little bout of depression like when I was reading this book. So it was hard for me to read it, but then I was like a glutton for punishment. And I was like, is this book like triggering some things in me? So I was just having like a rough day or a rough week, and I just got into this weird headspace. So I will say that it can be really heavy to like read stuff like this.
Hashtag triggering.
Right, when you are dealing with stuff really crazy.
Yeah.
In relation to the sexuality, I can't remember where the quote was, but I did read it. What's her name? Raffaella said to Suzette when they were in the flower shop, was like, don't let people put labels on you, because people are so into like boxes and labeling and identifying things. Because Suzette was just like, I don't know if I'm gay, if I'm bi, or what I like, and she's like, I don't know what I am. Raffaella was just telling Suzette that, you know, she doesn't have to worry about labels, and you don't have to really be into labels as long as you're good with yourself. So I thought that was pretty dope, because people are just so, are you black? Are you white? Are you Jewish? Are you Muslim? Are you gay? Are you straight? Are you bi? I'm me. Like, I'm doing what makes me happy.
Exactly. And I think that was a big piece. So I'll do my major scenes. So obviously one of the big key, high key scenes is there's two of them. When Lionel gets upset, she tells us the past story where Lionel gets upset about the Dodgers game and starts going off when he has his first instance of hypomania. So, you know, if you're familiar or unfamiliar with bipolar, there's different manias that you can have where you can be really high and full of energy, and then really low where you're really depressed. And you go through cycles. So when the family was first realizing that Lionel may have some kind of mental health problem, the family was supposed to be going to their like traditional, they do every year, go to a Dodgers baseball game, and for whatever reason the dad Saul wasn't able to go to the game, and Lionel went off. Lionel was pissed, like punching walls, destroyed his room. Like,
I thought he was gonna attack the mom.
I did too. Like, it was a crazy scene, because that's also the moment where Suzette was really realizing, you know what, something right here. But what's also crazy, another scene that kind of hinted towards that was when they were kids, when the parents first told Suzette and Lionel that they were going to live together, and they had dinner at Lionel's house, and Lionel broke the lamp. and Suzette took the blame for it. That could have been a foreshadowing scene to let you know that, you know what, young Lionel got some issues. Oh, the other major scene is when Lionel disappears at the end.
Oh yeah, that was crazy, but it was kind of too wrapped up in a bow. Here we are.
Yeah, it was wrapped up in a bow.
Oh, I did want to mention, this is not a major scene, but it does deal with young adults like drinking
a lot
and smoking.
Yeah,
which is, I just want to know, where are these parents? Okay, like this one girl, Alicia, had a whole party at her house with beer kegs and stuff, and I'm like, that's not real life. Like, it's good for books and movies, but I've never, like, we've been to a party and, you know, we've gotten bottles when I was underage, but not to the capacity of this. Like, I don't know how we was drinking Grey Goose when we were like 19, but
yeah. And they're high school, so Suzette is 16, so they're young, and they're drinking. So, which is also another theme that is really prevalent in Brandy's books, is the underage drinking, because, which was another theme in Brandy's book, is the underage drinking, because we saw a lot of that in Point as well. It's like whenever Theo would go to parties and stuff, they were always drinking. So maybe that's just the theme that, maybe that's just how Brandy grew up. That's not how I grew up, but
I can appreciate that she, you know, she realizes, okay, young people do illegal things.
Yeah.
And this is how they deal with it.
The scene, that was another past scene when Suzette was at school and the whole door situation. So Suzette was in a kind of incandescent, there was an incandescent relationship with her roommate Iris, and this is what kind of caused Suzette to kind of question her sexuality, because she was having, you know, some fun at night with her roommate. Suzette and her roommate Iris were having an incandescent relationship where they were doing some hanky-panky at night, and then they were keeping it from the other girls at the school. Somehow they found out, and one morning Suzette woke up and everyone was kind of like standing outside their door, and when she turned and looked at the door, somebody had written Dykes on the door and like some marker and stuff. And so from that moment on, Suzette was like, ooh, is a problem.
Yeah, but the thing about it was Iris was out. Suzette was unsure. Yeah,
and Suzette was
closeted.
Yeah, Suzette was only doing things when they were drunk, though. She said only when they were drinking. So
some nasty products. I thought of Burnett.
Yes, Burnett flavored vodka.
At first, when I was reading the book and found out like her parents sent her to a boarding school, I was like, ew.
Right.
Like, but then I realized, oh, okay, it wasn't her. They were dealing with these new mental health issues with Lionel and. And when you get the flashback, you see that Suzette had really taken on like being Lionel's caretaker, which she didn't need to.
Speaking of, what were your thoughts and feelings on the end with her decision about boarding school?
Oh, I can mention that in my rating.
Okay.
Because that has to do with my rating.
Okay, cool.
So now we're gonna rate our book. Favorite part.
Rate the book. We're gonna rate that book.
Oh.
Rate the book. We're gonna rate that book.
Alright, so you all know our scale. We have sober, which means the book was whack. We have buzz, which means the book was eh. We have tipsy, which means the book was good, but it wasn't lit, which means we really like that book. She didn't know I was going there. She did not know I was going there. Oh, Jazz, would you like to rate first? You know, this is my book. Okay. I'll rate first. So, I was toiling and you know, it was just a lot waiting on me, even though I just finished the book today. But legit, the whole time reading the book, like, I like this. When am I gonna rate it? I gave the book a tipsy.
Tipsy.
One reason I gave it tipsy is because the end of the book is just, like I said, it's too perfect, wrapped up, tied in a bow. Like, Lionel goes off, he's gone for like 2 or 3 days, and then they find him and he goes to the hospital, gets medicine, and then stuff happens. Like, trying to get away in the book. We're trying not to do that. Oh well, spoiler alert, sorry. And then Suzette makes the decision to go back to boarding school. I thought that was dumb. Like, she could have handled, I know she went to see Iris, like maybe she could have gone out there and talked to her over the summer, but I really feel like she should have stayed at home. She had developed this relationship with one of her long lifetime friends, and then it was like she just kind of left him, and I don't know, it was too much. I feel like she was leaving one undone situation to go to another undone situation, and I feel like she needed to close things with Emil and close things with Iris. It was just a lot, and it was just too perfect again. And then her mom, like, she told her mom, she came out to her mom randomly, and her mom was just like, oh, I'm sorry that this happened to you. Like, she came out to her mom by telling her what happened with Iris, and her mom was just like, okay. And I'm just like, even though her parents may be woke, for lack of a better term, or, you know, or one of those parents, like, you can come and tell me anything and I'm cool, like, however you identify, there's still some little, like, shock factor because you just don't know. Like, if Harper were to tell me, if I sent her off to boarding school and Harper came back and was like, yeah, mom, my girlfriend, I would be like, girlfriend?
You say hi.
Who? And I wouldn't be like, oh, you don't need to be, I would just be shocked. You know, there's still some shock factor, so I feel like that was too unrealistic that her mom had zero shock factor. Like, it was just, she already knew she was bi or lesbian or whatever. Yeah. So I gave the book a tipsy because the ending was just non-satisfactory.
Okay. All right. Good answer. So I also gave the book a tipsy, and my reason is very similar. I didn't like the ending. I did not like the fact that she decided to go back to boarding school. That really pissed me off. Like, when they gave her the option, like, hey, you can choose to stay here,
and her parents didn't want her to go back to what Dinsmore.
And what was pissing me off is because you did all of this ranting and raving about Lionel. Gotta check on Lionel. Gotta make sure Lionel's good. Then Lionel goes off the deep end, and then he gets better for like a day after coming out the hospital. You're like, you know what, I'm gonna abandon you, even though I spent the entire summer chasing after you, making sure you're okay. And then also the storyline between her and Rafaela was unnecessary. Like, yeah, you got a crush on your brother's girlfriend, but you don't. It was just.
I think it was necessary for her to like identify who she was, and identify like her. Just identify who she was, I think.
I mean, I get that, but I just felt like the way that it was like done. I don't know. Rafaela went from being the best thing since sliced bread,
and then she had no reaction. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, when Rafaela was like, oh, your brother's super fun, and we're having all this fun together, she was like the enemy. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you were okay with him being all manic. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I just felt like I just didn't like her decision to go back to boarding school. I felt like. You didn't even know if Iris was gonna be back there. You could go all the way back to Massachusetts, and Iris could have decided not to come back to school. And then what? Right. You got there looking stupid when your family's on the other side of the country. Right. But that's beside the point. Either way, I rated the book a tipsy. I do think it was important to read, and there were some good places, and it was important to touch on mental health issues. It was good to address that, especially at a young age where someone's trying to, has been diagnosed with bipolar when they're 17. So I think it was really important to talk about.
All right, so this book gets a tipsy from us. I think Point got a tipsy too.
It did.
Yeah, this was better than Point. It was just, if the ending would have been different, it would have been lit. Yes. It would have been lit. But it was very well written. I think people should read it. Like Jazz said, very good topic.
Very, very good topic.
Yeah, and it's better than Point. So maybe I have to read the evolution of Yvonne and see if that's better.
Yvonne.
Yeah. Now we're going to go to our next book and let you all know what it is. I haven't started reading it yet.
I haven't either.
Like we both just finished reading this book today. Literally. On the day that we're recording. So
literally. Like an hour ago.
So this next pick is Jasmine's pick.
It is.
And it's my first Kindle book. I don't know how I feel about that.
You got it. It's gonna be awesome.
So it is called When My Soul Met a Thug.
So we're going to some urban fiction, y'all. Because
by Jessica Watkins.
I felt like we had to throw some urban fiction in there. We cannot read authors of color and not sprinkle in a little bit of drug dealer, thug, N-word,
murder, kill.
Shoot my bang bang type stuff.
Though I like this little, y'all see this eye makeup?
Maybe
I'll create this look for the video. Get a glossy black eye.
Get a glossy black eye, get your hair done.
And I think it's only available on Kindle. So if you want to read this with us.
And it's only a couple dollars. I think it was like.
Yeah, I think it was like $1, maybe $2. Yeah, so I haven't started reading it yet. So yeah. Oh, it has a little synopsis and about the author already in there.
See, girl, you're sleeping.
Girl,
you've been sleeping on it.
But I just like to touch them.
You are touching.
And that's it for today, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because this is where Black Girl Lit lives and thrives. Follow us on Instagram at blackgirllit_YT. Follow Jasmine at Lenny Nora. Follow me at Nikea JaLynn, just for everything wonderful and Black Girl Lit-ish. And as always, stay Black Girl Lit. Bye.
Bye.
That's what my niece always does in pictures.